All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. As you know, this is a debate, our very first debate for this group. And the topic for our very first debate is, can one contribute to the social sector while being employed in the corporate world? I'll repeat it. The topic is, can one contribute to the social sector while being employed in the corporate world? Now, all of you have chosen your points, whether for the motion or against the motion. So we'll start. I'll call your names one by one, and then you can have your, opening statements. You can keep your points, any ending statements that you want. Anyways, please keep it short. Keep it for roughly 4 to 5 minutes. And once everyone has spoken, we'll have another round called the rebuttal round. So in that round, anyone can, uh, you know, rebut the points made by the other team, and you can say your points contradicting the same. So I'll ask you to unmute, and then you can put forward your points, right? So first of all, in the for team, can I ask Madhura to go ahead?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Karthik. I was not expecting to go first, but still, I guess I'll try to do justice. So, the topic we were given is, can one contribute to the social sector while being employed in a corporate world? I would like to start with a quote I read online recently. We can become millionaires if we identify what the real problems of the society is rather than just working for money. So I would like to add that we have seen a lot of great corporate leaders. We have seen a lot of great corporates, not leaders. And the difference between just being a corporate person and being a corporate leader is a person who identifies what is the issue with the society and start working for the same. He can really identify the pain points, and once these pain points are identified, he can work on it. If either it be for money or for non-profit, somehow the society is getting a benefit out of it, and at the same time the person in corporate is also getting his own kicks out of it. So I mean to say that contributing to a social sector while being in a corporate world is not at all a thing to be argued against actually. And we definitely know that there are a lot of activities like CSR that is happening in each company, which is very important to the contribution, because we need to have a corporate social responsibility. It's not just us that are living in this world. We are taking the opportunities of millions of people who don't really get that, and we have this commitment that we have to repay towards the society. And also that people that are really suffering, they really need some help, and people who have money, like who have something, only can give, not just people. What I mean to say is, if we have something, only we can give, and the corporate people, they really do have the money. I don't know about the time, because the work environment is changing, your cycle is changing, you definitely need to spend some time with family, but then you definitely have some money that you can spare for the people. They are working for you. At the same time, lot of people don't have any opportunity, lot of children don't get proper education, lot of them are in poverty. If you just think about it even for a second, you can't really skip through it saying that I'm a corporate person, I really don't need to have a care towards the society. I'm my own person and I don't belong in the society. This is a statement you never can make. And with that, I would also like to add this particular point that in America, we have this jury system, which basically means people who are not totally related to law, they are called out in random to come sit on a case and give their verdict, like give their opinion on that particular case. It is also a kind of social responsibility to make. They just can't say, I won't go to jury duty just because I'm in a corporate. So with this, I conclude saying that it's definitely necessary to have a social responsibility even when we are working in a corporate field. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madhura, so much for your points. Um, in the against team, first up, can we have Abhishek PK saying his points?
Hello, am I audible to you?
Yeah, hi Abhishek, you're audible. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the topic here is can the corporates, provide to the social sector? That's the topic. So, for we can say, like, corporates, there are good minded people, they can actually contribute to the social sector. But what is our experience? That's what I have to talk to. Like, it's in the 18th century that industrialization happened. Before that, there was nothing as called, money. There were gold coins. Earlier there were barter system. I'm not telling those were all correct systems, but when the money came, the biggest problem that happened was like imperialism and colonialism. Like, why European countries colonized the whole country? Their country industrialized, they had products surplus value than what they needed. And whenever you have, this is a typical corporate mindset. You have what you needed, but still you go for greed. They wanted new markets, so they captured and colonized the whole place. They took raw materials from there and they sold their products there itself. So this mindset is prevalent in all a corporate society. And where have this corporate society worked well? In Latin America, in Africa, or Asia? No, only European and the North American companies. Europe, especially, which is a continent that is built on colonial looting, have this system work. And here the problem is like, work hard if you want to be a millionaire. Now I would like to change that and say, work hard if you want to be that 1% of the privileged section who are actually burdening the 50 percentage of the other people. This corporate inequality has been here in the world for like past 1 century. I would like to say that 50% of the bottom class people have only 1% of the wealth, while and reverse, the vice versa, the top 1% of the corporate people have 50% or more of the wealth. So you people say the corporate can be friendly, the corporate can donate when they have more, but they have too much more, and what have they done until now? That is my question. Like, I here I have a statistics from Worldometer. You can look into it. It provides daily statistics and yearly statistics of many things, like even COVID data, etc. Here there are like 8 million, no, 845 million 422,094 undernourished people in the world, while 1 billion 69 697 million plus overweight people in the world. So some people have more to eat, while other people have very less to eat. And today alone, until now, 28,238 people have died of hunger. Do we think this is the statistic of one day? Do you think we don't have the facility to provide food to all? Haven't our humanity and technology developed to such an extent? We have those things. But the problem is what the corporates do are, like, say, for example, if I have a 1 lakh rupee, what I will as a corporate do is to give a rupee of 10 rupee to someone else and then market that for 100 rupees. And I will say, oh, he's a very big donator. How is he achieving this money? Maybe I'm not generalizing these things, but they generally get money through, many of them through frauds or through help from the government system, etc. So it's, generalization cannot be done anywhere, but here it's like a system. Always this 1%, corporates, etc., have 50% of the wealth, and never this bottom section who are starving and who are hunger has been able to be uplifted, or their problems are not solved at all. So for theoretically you can say anything, but like for 100 years the experience have proved the otherwise. So that's all I have to say about this.
All right. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for your thoughts. Now, from the for the motion team, can I ask Somrik uh, to say his points? Just a second, Somrik. Yeah, sorry about that.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Go on.
Okay. So everybody has put forth their points, and it's quite really valid. So I'm also seeing all the points in a new light. So talking about it, I have chosen four, right? So let's see. Corporate social responsibility can be considered as a part of social work, but that's not all. Let's just say that we are all part of a society and we all need the things that we need to do. So that's one thing to look at. If you don't have it, you cannot give it. And if you do not have it, then you definitely have to do something to have it. So that's just my point of view. And talking about it, to going deep, let's just say that the corporate people have money in their hands, and it's not just about money, it's about time and effort, right? But everything can be considered that talking about time and effort, yes, you can give because 8 hours of work, and even if I take that you're sleeping 8 hours, you still have some hours left at hand to work for it. Definitely, as someone pointed out, family time is needed. But that doesn't mean that we cannot give our time to what, to the world that has brought us up. For example, we are born in India, and India has given us everything starting from our birth to everything that we have right now. So isn't it our responsibility to give it? And especially when a corporate gives us the time and gives us the opportunity to work towards it, why not? And talking about that, let's just go a big broader, and let's look at things. In India, we have Satyam Eva Jayate by Amir Khan. It was a TV show that depicted the social causes and actually worked towards improving them. So Amir Khan can be said to be a part of a corporate. Not really, I'm not talking about corporate in the sense of offices and companies. They're just talking in broader sense, having something to do. And Amir Khan is really has a profession and he's really has a busy schedule, but he still does it. Talking about the other things, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation. That is something that is one of the largest private foundations in the world right now, with an endowment of 46.8 million. So yes, and Warren Buffett, one of the major investors in the world, is also part of the trustees. So can we say that CSR and corporate people cannot really give their time and cannot really vote to help the social work and to work towards it? I definitely do not see it that way. Okay, maybe we have seen our share of things as well where the things go negative and out of hand. But I would definitely like to say my point and state that yes, it is possible. It's just about how we see. Talking about us, we also are MBAs, right? We are going into corporate social work, corporate world. And does that mean that we're going to forget and forfeit our responsibilities? So it's just about how you see. Perception is what matters. So I'll end my point here. Thank you.
Thank you, Samrik. That was wonderfully worded, if I may say. Uh, Going ahead, can I call Toshif from the Against team to say his thoughts or to put forward his thoughts?
Yeah, thank you, Karthik, for this opportunity. So first, I'd like to go into a theory part. I'm talking about against, and then I'll touch upon very three major part of Indian corporate industry to show that what exactly my points are regarding that. So first, you guys have learned about in economics or whatever that first any person will earn to get food, shelter, and uh, clothes. Then he'll care about his safety. The third thing, he will earn money and respect from the society. In the fourth stage, he is tend to give what he has earned in the society by doing some charity or by giving away back to the society what he has earned. But in reality, the person who is going up the ladder of the corporate is only earning all of his life, and at the end he is somewhere in the Lilavati or Nanavati hospital, and then he is like, harsh, thank God I could afford such a healthcare for myself. So that is the reality. And greed, I guess that's the very strong thing. It's a, you can say it's a addictive thing which any person can't just go ahead of it. So now I'll touch upon to three class of corporate ladder, that is lower class, middle class, and upper class. So lower class, what exactly is social service for lower class, working class? It is the Ganpati pandals. Every every festival they just want to celebrate their festival, and for them that is the social cause which they are doing by donating into those pandals. But actually that is not at all helping the society in any way. Next comes to middle class. Now, what is exactly the real situation of middle class? Middle class know that there are societal problems. There are many problems in the society which we can address and solve. But what exactly is happening? I'll give a personal example. There is a friend of my father who is working in a company. He's earning 50 or 60,000 a month. Every month, 10% of his salary directly credited to into an account of a Baba. He don't know what Baba is doing. He don't know what he is doing. Some of his senior or some of his friend told him about his Baba, and he's just donating 10% of his salary. So for him, that is the social work he's doing. He's just donating there. That's all. There are problems, but he is already so much involved in his problem. The middle class is, I guess, the worst affected people in this country because they are not able to earn more. They are paying more than tax. Not the wealthiest person are paying that much tax, which the middle class is doing. So already middle class person is so much into problems that he can't address the problems of others. Now let's get up to the upper middle class. So what is the exact scenario there? Again, I'll give my personal example. The college which I was studying. College is mostly in the country, they are under a charitable trust. The fees which I was paying, half of the fees was directly taken into that charitable trust. They were doing, and under the charitable trust, there was just one village which they had adopted. And in my 4 years of my undergraduation, I have never visited that village for any kind of social work. What they were doing was they were simply taking that in the charitable trust and just rotating the money and taking the white money out of it. So that is the actual reality of the upper middle class. Now, according to the data, 77% of wealth is in the hands of top 10% wealthiest people of India. Now, just to make you aware of how long this gap is, a minimum wage worker, it will take him 941 years to earn whatever an executive in a garment company is earning in a year. So you can just see the vast difference which is there in this. And regarding CSR policy says 2% of your annual income should be into the corporate social responsibility. Now just imagine 77% of India's total wealth in those. Now just calculate 2% of it. If they are doing it in a very proper way, don't you think that it can, at least for India, it can reduce all the problem and reduce this gap? That is a question which I'll like to like you all to think about, and this is where I land my speech. Thanks.
Thank you. Going ahead, can I call Abhishek Singh from the 4 team?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would start with a quote: "Where there is a will, there is a way." So if you are working in corporate sector, then also you can help others. Helping doesn't necessarily means like helping via money. Helping can be in any other form. Like if you are teaching some poor children, then also it's a good cause for the society. If you are working in any firm which is causing some sort of a help to society, that is also a type of a work. For example, if I talk about like in this pandemic phase, the people who are working for making medicines for corona, they are also helping society in some or the other way. So it is not necessary that you have to pay money to in order to help. Like if in terms of money, if it talks about, then also there are various companies like ITC and PNC who send 1 rupee for their each 1 rupee for each product they sell for a noble cause. Okay. And according to me, if a person like one of my friend quoted, like a person is earning 50,000 if he's donating 100 rupees, and he's saying, I have donated, I have done my thing. But I just want to add this thing: donating 100 rupees, of course, is less, but it is still better than zero. Like, because that 100 rupees is also going to somebody who is in need for that 100 rupees, and it can fetch him at least a meal for a day. So it is very necessary for us to do any sort of a social cause, whether it's related to money or of money. If like when I was in engineering college, so my college was in outskirts of a village. So with my along with my friends, we used to go to the neighboring school, which was like till class fifth. We used to study those children. We weren't paid anything. We weren't like, we was just engaging, having fun with the children, and we were a bit interested in them. So that is also helping, because if they get, I'm not talking about they whatever we will teach they'll get 100%. If 1%, even 1% they get it what we teach, that is also beneficial for them. So in short, I just want to say nothing is something is better than nothing.
Thank you, Abhishek. Uh, that was beautifully worded. Can I now call Andrila from the Against team?
Very good evening, guys. So here I am to talk on basically the topic that whether corporates can contribute into the social world, like society, can give something back to the society, even though being a part of the corporates. So here I would like to refer to the term corporate, not just any one single person, but as the entire entity in itself. Like, what do we mean by the word corporate? Not just any one single company, not just any one single man, or not any one single person's will. I would like to talk about what we actually mean by, like, what is my person. Like, I would actually share what I feel about basically this corporate thing is. Suppose all my learned friends actually said they have some wine buffet and mention of big names, mention of moral responsibility and duties, CSR, we have to donate 2% of our earnings and stuffs like that. But at the end of the day, we all are here to earn. We all are here to make money. Let's just take into fact the person who is any of the rich people that were mentioned. Let's just, for example, take Geo also. That person is also working hard to make the money. But that doesn't mean I would obviously refute the fact that that person can do. But let's just look into the more uh, organized. Let's just look a little deeper. I'll take you through the way. Suppose there is always a general debate that whether a corporate and social responsibility can go in hand, or whether an organization should be kind of, be voluntary. But donating or giving back is always, we have to keep in mind, is the choose, is the will, is the voluntary in nature. We cannot force anybody. If I don't want to do it, I won't do it. I mean, I should do it. Everybody knows that what we should do, but I won't do it. So big deal. And another thing is that let's just take a little look into the negative aspects of this social responsibility aspect that we in our HR teams give a very fancy name as the CSR. So corporate social responsibility, I think that is the expansion of the name. If we look into this, the basic reason why a business formulates is to make profit. We all know that. And corporate social responsibility in a corporation is an effort to look out for, suppose, basic, look out for the stakeholders, which are more important to the company. Let's start with the basics. To look out for stakeholders, keeping into mind their duty, like keeping into mind their will, what they would like, what they want, what keeping into mind their tastes. But some businesses might just not be ready to deal with social issues. Some corporates might just not be personally ready to deal with it. They have come here to make money and work. They are not ready to deal with the social issues, or they might not be ready to deal with the complex issues that come up. And cost to do a business in itself is a huge huge thing to deal with. And on top of that, when you have to deal with societal, like when we are actually expected of to give back, it creates a point of scrutiny and a pressure to some extent. And in general view of this argument, it is not necessarily always to take care of problems that are being faced by the society, right? I mean, it suggests that it's dead. It, as a part, being a part of the society, I should do it, but it's not my responsibility to do that. Government is there, other people are also there. Why only corporates should take it upon their heads to kind of solve everything and anything? Yes, the point of pain point is there. We are working to that. Like, we are turning the pain points into profit for, like, growth for the economy of the country. We are turning the profit into making jobs for the people. What more do you expect from the corporates to do other than that? First, another thing is, let's just if I would want to word it in a different way, Just like suppose, suppose this also makes the corporates vulnerable to some like so just one second, I just noted a point. Yes, this also makes the corporate vulnerable in perspectives to scrutiny, because in the CSR, when they are actually opening that segment, the CSR is liable to question and answers. When the department of CSR is there, we have to hire people to engage there. We have to, because we just cannot go into the society searching for problems and solving them. Because well-known corporates, they have a brand name to maintain. They have an image to keep up, because that also is related with everything that's running around in the business. So when I am setting up a CSR department, I have to involve people in that. I have to deploy manpower. I have to invest money. And the business in itself is quite hefty. And I again have to add all those things. So it becomes quite troublesome and makes my organization vulnerable. One second point. And it also kind of hampers the management objectives, because a failed CSR is very dangerous, an extremely dangerous thing, because I might go out and vouch for solving this problem, taking up this responsibility of giving back to the society that we actually, that in the triangle that we used to learn in the OB classes, like some when.
Andrila, are you there? I think we lost you. Um, Andrila, I think we really lost you. I am sorry, I have to move on to the next person. Uh, if you, I don't know, if you can hear, please check your internet or something. Uh, Wait, she's back.
Did I just get logged out? Am I
Yeah,
audible?
you did get logged
I'm
out.
sorry, my internet connection is a little unstable. Bear with me if that happens again. So, as I was saying, a failed CSR is detrimental to the health of the company, because if, like, over the time, a company might want to do some social service, might want to give back to the society whatever he's taking from the nature, whatever he's taking from society. Like the corporate intends to give it back. For some reasons, for over the time, that person or that corporate is not being able to give it back. So this adds up to their false promises. This adds up to their failed management deployment, if I would term it that way. It fails. It actually portrays your incapability to do your work properly. So that can be detrimental. Like doing a thing, not being able to do it properly, better than don't do it. Don't do it. And last but not the least, I would like to add, my closing statement would be, CSR is a very nice business strategy. If properly and strategically placed, CSR can earn a lot of business, because in a way we are actually fulfilling our enlightenment, the sector of enlightenment also. We are fulfilling our sense of duty, as well as catering to the emotional, catering to the sentiments of your consumers, of your shareholders, in a positive manner, where this entire world is filled of negativity. It actually earns you, it actually turns heads. So even though CSR is like an added burden, an added cost, everything, but it can be termed as a necessary evil. I would like to close it with this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrila. Now, in the for team, can I call Yashasvi to present his points? And Yashasvi, please turn off your video if your bandwidth allows that.
I'm really sorry, my internet have some fluctuations. If it's okay.
All right, no
Uh,
worries.
okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank Karthik and all speakers, those who are speaking for. They have some very great valid points. The topic was, can one contribute to the social sector while being employed in a corporate world? To this, I want to say yes. And to support my yes, I have 4 points. First of all, the simplest answer is CSR, corporate social responsibility. It's the responsibility of a business which have made through the roots of a society and giving back something to the society. I have three examples. One is, as one of the speakers already have told you about, Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation, which is the biggest NGO in the world. It is not the biggest. It also provides 10 to 12% of the funds to WHO, World Health Organization. So this is a cooperative company, which shows that it is solely responsible to the society. The second example I want to give of our Great Lakes. We all know that on Sundays went to different. We have a system where we do Shamdan. We go to different villages and help those students. It just shows what are the basics a cooperative leader should have. The third example I want to quote of my mother. She is a lecturer in a school. The interesting thing is that all the companies, surrounding companies, provide LCDs, TVs, and all the different thing to the school. My second point, I want to jump. Companies that implement CSR does not take benefit in multiple ways. As we all know that intangible assets, as our FDM sir has told us, many studies said, it helps to grow the brand value and brand name. Secondly, consumer, employees, and stakeholders all prioritize CSR when choosing one thing. This fourth point I want to talk about the government, as already Tashif has mentioned that 2% of the companies profit, but there is a slab. If your profit is above 5 crores, which is quite enough, you have to give that to the society. It's a government rule and every company has to follow it. Not only that, you can provide that money to different colleges, like example IITs, IITs. At the end, I just want to say that CSR is not just about giving money. It's about developing the society, the surroundings where you are from. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, SSP. Uh, Next up from the against team, can I call Akash uh, to say his points?
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Go on.
Oh, okay. So the question is, can we contribute to the social sector while being employed in the corporate world? So I would like to answer this question with respect to human psychology, what we actually think when we're actually contributing this social sector. So like what the first thing comes to my mind, like when we are actually contributing, so are we personifying ourselves as a good person or a better person? Okay. So like when you are talking about contribution, you want to contribute, or you actually you want to try to contribute to a social sector. Because like many a times, like let me just talk about a hypothetical condition. You are coming from you are coming out from a corporate office. You are in a really good mood, and one of the person comes to you and asks for a contribution towards an NGO or for a poor society that actually needs some help. If you are in a good mood, you will definitely help that person. But if you are in a really bad mood, you will actually not even talk to him and just walk away from that place. So the thing is that if you really want to help a person, help in a really good manner. But if you don't, like, just not to do that for a perspective that you actually want to be a good person. The thing is that if you are like, the thing in the corporate world is that to use an analogy, we can take it as a chess board. You're a pawn on the chessboard, okay? And every single person in the corporate house, what they do, they try to force on pressure on yourself so that they can actually move forward from the position that you're actually working on, okay? These are the kind of the situation that actually exhaust a person mentally and physically, and these are the kind of a really toxic environment that is actually present in the corporate world. I have seen many people who are actually retiring from their position at a really earlier age because they are not able to cope up with the situations. Let's say a person who is actually working over a single day. He's meeting hundred of people. He's actually giving hundred of opinions to other person. He's having hundred of emails with every single day. He's also waiting for his performance review. He's also waiting for his paycheck that he will be getting after a 4-week work. And at the end, when he actually returns, like when he actually get a paycheck, what he thinks, like is that work is really what he was doing to earn all that work? And after that, you're asking for that person to contribute something, because for a whole single day, for a whole single month, he was actually working so much hard, and at the end, only the really a sorry small amount was given to him. And I would say, like, if I'm working for if I'm working for a corporate house, and if I think about contributing my money for a social sector, I will do it not for a good cause. I will do it not for a good cause, but I will do it for if I am actually feeling something in my side, in my heart, that yeah, I actually want to help some other people. So this is the thing. Like, I would like to give an example of Ashutosh Tyagi. He was the vice president of Tata Group, and he stopped working for that group because he was not able to help other people. So he started working for a non-profit organization. What he thought, what he was actually thinking about that at that very point of time. Okay, he was at his top career. He was at the top level of his career, but he just dropped his job just to add other people. So what was the mindset? He was not able to actually help the other people because he was actually working in a really hectic environment. Okay. So the thing is that if you really want to help some people, do some that kind of a work that is actually like do in a corporate. Like if you also want to work in a corporate house, do that kind of a like join that corporate house that is actually helping our society. Do join a non-profit organization, join an NGO, because right now, if you talk about NGOs are also actually making a really amount of good business. Do help them, okay? They're actually creating a difference in they're also actually creating a difference in our society. And I would like to end with the same topic. I would like to end with the same thing, that people do help when they actually want to be a good person. Okay, don't be a good person, be a better person. Make mistakes. When you make mistakes, you will learn from them. Okay, and this is the main thing. This is the main thing when you're actually helping a person. Thank you.
Thank you, Akash. That was great points by you. Can I call the rest of the speakers on the four team, Abhinav, Handa, and Karan? Both of you can speak one by one. First, Abhinav Handa. Um, just give me a minute here, guys. Unfortunately, I cannot find Abhinav Handa in the participants pane as Toshif pointed out. Karan, if you want to go ahead, please.
Okay. So as I'm for the topic, I mean, yes, working in the corporate can help a person to work in a social sector, and I want to and I will and I will conclude this in 3 points. The first one, what is an organization? Just the organization is an organized group of people with a particular purpose. So when a organization is created, it is a people who actually matters. So if a person with a good intention, he does not care whether he is working in a corporate sector or government sector. He is bound to do his work for the social sector. Even and there are many people who has worked in a who has worked in a corporate sector or in any organization, and help the society to uplift themselves and uplift themselves. So the main point is the intention of the people and how people perceive society, how people perceive the society is. And my second point will be CSR Act. Actually, the government has made it mandatory for organizations to comply with CSR, and according to the CSR Act, every organization has to spend 3% of EBIT profit, and it should be directed toward the CSR activity. And there was one interesting point by Andrela. Why should a corporate do such activities? Well, we don't want another British East India Company. There are some moral compliances and social responsibilities which every person and which every individual, a rational individual, has on the back of his head. So, and as I already said, the organization is a group of people. So working in implementing CSR is their prime focus. And my third point is how the CSR activities are actually helping. So as I hail from the Pune district, I can actually point out very specific CSR activities which I've which I've personally seen. These were done by Bharat Forge and other Poonawalla group. Okay, so what Bharat Forge what Bharat Forge do is they desilt they desilt the dams and do canalling and irrigation in a Pune district, Ahmednagar, Solapur district, and 2-3 other districts which are not related to related to canalling and all. Okay, so when there is a very influential freedom fighter who once said that his name was Ram Manohar Lohia. He said, let the salary of parliamentarian be deducted, but the water and the irrigation facility should be given to our poor farmers. So what Bharat Forge does is that they provide this irrigation facility to these farmers, and particularly in Purandar district in Kolhapur, which is a drought prone area in Maharashtra. And from last 5 years, this area has over 400 to 500 water tanks, which are actually contributing to the farming sector. Okay, and other Poonawalla initiative. So as I've lived in the core city of Pune, I can actually vouch for this fact that other Poonawalla group has done an extensive work in cleaning of Pune city, which is now one of the cleanest cities in India. So as we are saying that even government and corporates are working in harmony to reciprocate the business which the customers or the normal people gives to this corporate. So to conclude with, I will just say that it is the people which matters and not the corporates or the organization they work for. And I rest my case.
All right. Thank you, Karan. The only people left are in the against team. So can I call Saeed and Vijay to share their points? First Vijay, and then we can go to Saeed.
Hello friends. This topic is about, can someone contribute to the society while working in the corporate industry or not? And as my fellow mate spoke exceptionally well about what they think is true, like whether they can work or not, the one thing which is being overused is CSR. This doesn't depend on CSR in the first place. Like CSR is something which corporate forces on you to do something. This whole topic is about whether you have the will to do it or not. Can one contribute, right? So it's like, if he's willing enough, he can defy many things. He can start. But the topic is not that. There are two types of approach to actively participating in the social world. One is passive participation and one is active participation. In the passive participation, the example Taushif mentioned, whether the example he mentioned is that his friend's father is trying to passively, support the society. But that doesn't work because we don't know whether the organization is really genuine or not. And people miss out on real opportunities where they want to contribute to the world. And one more thing I have to say, I have a friend who is a social worker, and once he landed a job in the IT industry, he was literally not able to do anything out of his will. Like the bosses were not supportive. as he kept on progressing in the career, his work has been increasing by multifolds, and he was not able to contribute at all. He likes active uh, societal development or something. He want to actively contribute to that. And just a second. And coming to the index, we Indians rank very low in altruistic index. We doesn't have this altruistic nature at all. Compared to USA and all, we are the least, we stand very below them in terms of altruistic nature. And some people mentioned about Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Bill Gates is one exception where, he's a legend. He is doing out of his own will. No one is forcing him to do. And the way he does is really commendable. And coming to the point, there are people who quit the 9 to 5 job and started actively working for the society. And if you see their interviews, they always tell that they always focus on one point where you can't really work for the society actively. And one of those people are, if we attended that business communication session, there is this person called Rakesh Shukla, who worked for, he's called father of dogs. He's working in Bangalore. I saw his interview where he told that the person, he is really very much into contributing. The person who is really, really willing to contribute to society, he just can't sit somewhere. The corporate industry doesn't even allow him to do. Like, he has to quit the job, he has to do something. And those people are the leading examples we Indians have to take, because that is why, that is where you can get inspired from other people, and we can build the nation better. And it's not very helpful in terms of charity if we are passively participating. That's all I want to say. And I want to end this by saying this is the topic which we have to actively discuss. And this is not a, just forget here, and we have to take it forward, and we have to think what it is really. Because we as youth, we have to, make something to society and contribute something to society. That's it.
Sorry, Vijay.
Yeah.
Some great points, Vijay. Saeed, you can go ahead. And
Yeah, okay.
if you can turn on your video if your bandwidth allows it, then please.
No, dude, my bandwidth is very bad.
All right, go ahead.
So I'll just jump straight into the topic. I want to start with my personal story, which happened back 6 months back. So I was part of an NPO, whose name I don't want to take here. So the NPO's goal was to promote the global goals, 18 global goals, which is stated by the UN. So for achieving this goal, we had an open mic night. I suppose around 15th of August. I don't remember the date exactly. So for this, we approached an automobile brand. It's a very popular brand in India. I don't want to take its name also, because whatever I'm saying is very confidential. So we wanted to tap into CSR and get some money out of it for the sponsorship to promote whatever we are going to do. The sponsorship which was provided, which was supposed to be provided to us, was 1 lakh, which, by the automobile brand, which we didn't receive till the last day. And then after some days, we had an insider over there who told us that the manager himself took off all the money which was supposed to be given to us, by stating that this was given, by providing details that this was actually given to us. So this is a dark side of whatever happens in CSR. So they name it CSR and they just take it for their own benefits. Now, because of this, what I'm trying to say here is, because of this, the money which should be actually going towards the social responsibility is not going towards there, and this is promoting the negative effect of whatever the CSR is meant to be. What happens here is, the question of can a person actually contribute towards the
Saeed,
yeah.
Saeed, your voice really lowered its volume. Can you say that point again, please?
The whole thing or what?
No, just like last 30 seconds or so.
Okay, so I'll start from, where did you lose me? Like, did you lose me when I was talking about the event or the sponsorship, or where?
Just the last 30 seconds, basically. Or you can continue with your point. That's not a problem.
Okay, so as Vijay said, it's about the point of the can. So can a person contribute towards the social responsibility as part of the corporate world? Well, we need the money. I mean, we need the money which is coming out of the corporate to actually contribute towards it. When there is no money, then how can the can exist? So the NPOs and those NGOs, they actually depend on these money to run their organization. And if this doesn't happen, then can also is a question. This is the point I wanted to say. And then one more point I want to add is one of my friends recently landed a job in Amazon, and he was a very
Saeed again. We lost you. Like for the last 2-3 seconds, we lost you again.
okay. So one of my friends, he landed a job in Amazon. So he was a very huge contributor towards a organization called MAD, Make a Difference. But now, after getting into Amazon, he has so much hectic work that he's not able to even put 1% of his time for his personal self and for the social responsibility. So my point here is it's all about the can, and the can is not existing in most of the cases in corporate.
All right. Saeed, are you done?
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear me or did you not hear me?
Uh, I mean, we lost you a couple of times there, but I think your point
Okay,
came.
fine. It's not a big problem.
Yeah, I think your point came across well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think everyone has spoken. If I miss someone out, you can tell me in the chat. I'm extremely sorry for that, but I still feel I have covered each and every one of you. So now we move on to the rebuttal round. I will open the discussion for all, or I will open the debate for all. If I may, please maintain the dignity of the debate. Please maintain the discipline. Please don't cut each other out while the other person is talking. And I'm sure each and every one of you has heard the other person's or the other team's points. Some of you have shown that with the thumbs up emoji, but from starting now, you can all unmute yourself, and anybody who wants to speak can do so.
Okay, just one thing before we start the rebuttal. It's happening in teams, right? Like we are not on our own.
No, it's in teams.
Until you just change your name to Against so that it will be easy for us.
My name is itself Against only, so I don't have to change it. Again, I will have to change it for tomorrow's class. Please spare me the parent.
No, you just have to rename it. It's not like it's okay. No, like we can proceed. We can proceed.
Okay, I think the names are fine. I can read everyone's names. Can we move to the rebuttal round now, please?
Yeah, I would like to add certain points to this topic. But first of all, I would like to, take a small request. Like now we are actually, studying MBA. We are going to be entrepreneurs. So don't think it the other way. Like he's talking against this kind of thing, and he's going. Like for example, no, not everyone does the job they love, and so here I'm in a more larger scale talking about a system. And anyway, we are in this system. So
Don't
in this
worry.
system, what is the one that we
No
love?
one is going to judge you, PK.
What we are doing is really
Yeah. No. I just want to make a point. Like, say, if I go on preaching everyone like don't drink alcohol, and if I drink, I would be like a hypocrite. But here it's not like that. Here we are in a system. So what we have to do is to, take the thing that we are instant. And
Just
I
a
would
second.
like
before saying.
Just a second. Just
No,
a second.
just
Yeah. Continue, please. I'll say after you say.
Yeah, instead I would like to introspect, like it's just because of this system we have unemployment, and we have to work for like 8 hours a day for 40
I would like to say
years,
something
etc.
here.
Okay,
Like,
now,
I
now
think
I
when
would
there
now I would like to start.
Wait.
Talking, no, let him complete.
Let him complete. Yes.
No, this was I just told that now I am coming to my point, because
Okay, you
I would like to
continue
go,
with your point.
yeah, I would like to go against this thing strongly. That's why I just said it. And here everyone, they are mainly taking the point of CSR, because I think CSR is just a fancy word because in our experience of these 1,000 years, there is this huge inequality, and nowhere it has worked. Like I said, the three continents, Africa, Latin America and Asia, people are poor. Many people die out of hunger daily, and everyone is telling that some people can, do that despite being a corporate. But this experience have shown the other way, and I would like to give a reason why a corporate can never do a thing. So I'm not disagreeing with the point that there would be one or two. Here I am thinking deeply, taking
What
it as a
are
whole
you
system.
saying? You are in amidst a debate and you're saying I'm not talking for, like, I'm not going against it. You're saying like you're
PK,
saying for against. You are going against your team.
PK, first of
Stop
No,
all,
right there.
see,
PK, first of all, I
see,
want to just say that you
see,
talk
I'm
about
talking.
1,000 years. I just
See,
wanted the cooperative was started
no,
in the
let
18th
let let
century
me
by
let me just complete my point.
England.
No, wait.
Okay.
Let me just place my
See,
point. Okay, PK,
I,
you
I
are
just,
saying that you are
yeah,
not supporting for the fact that you're speaking. It might be in your heart. Don't say it in a
no,
debate. You
see,
will
see,
lose us
See,
points.
PK,
What
say
are
it
you
after the
doing?
see,
debate is over, okay? Now,
see, I just
You
Right,
said
can say
that
Rebuttal.
I
that
am.
after it is
Don't
over.
give him
Don't
a
say
hard
now.
time.
see, it's
Don't give
See,
him
recorded.
let
a
me
It's being
hard
complete.
recorded,
time.
okay?
Try
Okay,
to talk
guys,
about
You
So
it.
it's
guys,
can't
it's off
complete
Let him
audio.
complete.
anymore.
Let him
See,
complete.
Let him.
let
guys, 1 second. Let PK complete. On Rilla, we can have the feedback session later. And if anybody wants to say their points, you
see,
can.
I just
Yeah.
said that I'm not disagreeing one or two corporate maybe good person doing. I'm taking it on a larger scale. The whole that capitalists they can never do this corporate service, because the reason now I'm coming here is that this corporate system overall works on the basis of greed. Because like when there is a competition between the corporates and everyone needs a monopoly, like one company needs to have a monopoly over the other in all the fields. So they actually whenever they get profit they need to invest into new things. They have no time for corporate service. And the another thing that I would like to say is there would be each section and each company would be having a share of its more way. There would be a an order, right? And if one which is in the lower section needs to come up, the way is either to destroy this thing in the competition, or to create a new area and bring in a customer base for whatever it is. And that thing I would like to say is then actually we are not going for need, we are going for greed. And that's my point that I want to say. The corporate, if it's for need, then I believe it would be a socialist system. But here in the system, what it's a greed, and that's why the corporates have failed to alleviate poverty or starvation that's around the world in all these years. And how have these people made profits? They exploit the workers. They exploit workers to do job like for many hours for very little income. Many of their rights like
PK,
maternal leave or everything has been
Okay, I
actually.
guess.
PK,
No, I'm telling all the
you
points
just
why
counter.
the corporates
Just
can
counter.
never do.
You just
okay,
counter.
we
Okay,
can
please
cut
let
you
You just
after
let
counter
PK.
some
others
points.
also have
Just
some
counter some
points.
points.
Yes,
You just
PK,
counter.
you.
Okay, shall I
Okay,
go?
then I will
Shamrik is
conclude that.
already speaking.
No, no, you
Okay,
just
you
counter.
know what? 1 second, 1 second.
Shamras is speaking and he's on mute.
All right, guys, I think we are going into an Arnav Goswami debate here. Let's not do that. Uh, if anybody wants to speak, not Abhishek PK, all right, they can raise their hand. Raise the hand in the participants pane, please. Madhura and Eric, I think they are both eager to talk. Let's listen to Shomrik and then we can go on to Madhura.
Okay, so I got PK's point. Like, okay, definitely. Like I heard him, I thought, gave it a thought, and okay, I consider it true. But let's just say one thing. Like some points, as you mentioned, that all corporates are not doing the right thing, and all corporates are not doing social work. Okay, I cannot like not agree to it, right? But I can definitely say that what the approach, like the way that we're looking at things, is not the only thing that you see the negative points, right? Because no coin can not have another side. But what we have to see is what can we do and what do the corporates do. Like they have things. CSR is something that is there to help the communities. And not just that, there are foundations, there are different things. The approach may be different, but okay, they try things. And okay, competition, like talking about competition, it's not the competition that is negative. There are healthy competitions too, right? Because as a person, I thrive for competing. Like it's not about competing that is negative. It's about how you compete. That is what it matters, right? So let's just say that the world is right now. Like as he talked about money was not there. Okay, money was there. Money was there. We didn't have cash. Like it wasn't printed on paper. But the system was there, right? Because even if it's a coin, like mohar, in India it was called mohar, but the point was the same. That was money. People used that to buy things. Even before that, the idea of exchange started when the idea of farming came. Even before that, let's go a little bit back. The idea of exchange was there the moment people started hunting. The idea of exchange came into birth the moment people started giving thoughts. Because what is exchange? A person cannot sing and do everything. We do not have 10 hands. But definitely what we can do is we can work as a community to make things better. That was the way the system was born. But yes, it cannot always work the way that we want it to. And the main reason, as you said, is greed. But it is not that the corporates that are working on greed. The corporates are wanting to work on need. But greed is something that we don't understand when you cross the line. Okay, but we can see the corporates doing work too. We cannot just ignore that. And let's not talk about the corporates. Do we think that the people who are not in the corporates, they are doing work? Are they? Because I have seen many people who lay around all day and do not do anything. Talk about helping people out. When we're walking on the roads, like last day I was standing in the grocery store and there was a person who actually had a general emergency and he had to buy something for his home, but he wasn't able to do that because there was a guy who actually fought him for 10 minutes. After that, the shopkeeper had to say that please let him in. I know he has an emergency. He has to do that. That guy was almost crying and he was an old person. And talking to an old person like that, I don't think that's the right thing people should do. And I don't know if he's in a corporate or not. Maybe the corporate has shaped him that way. But I didn't see the corporate there because it wasn't the corporate life. It wasn't an official thing. It was just outside. When talking about that, I have been a part of Plan India. It's an NGO, part of Plan International. Plan India is the Indian counterpart that works. So I have been raising funds, and I have almost visited a lot of houses in India. You won't know, but there on weekends. I used to go out. I used to knock on every door. Like I used to knock on every single door. Like there was a word in Plan India. It said every corner, every door, and every corner, every door. Okay. So I have to go there every door and then talk to them, talk to the person, and you won't believe me. Like when I used to go to apartments and I talked to people, they were not as good as when I went to corporates and I talked to the people. Because see, when you go into a corporate, there are different types of people. It's about the types of people, not the corporates. See, the corporate as a body, when you're going to the organizational behavior class, when you're seeing a company getting built up, the motto of the company, the motto of every company, okay, being ideal, being theoretical, being practical. These are the three different things, like two different things. When you're being ideal, there is something called a perfect market, as we have seen in FIDM also.
Shomrik,
So, yeah,
extremely sorry to cut you short, but
yeah.
others need to speak as well. So I think
Sure,
you
man. I'll
wrap
just
up
end
your
it with one
points.
point. I'll just
Okay.
end it with one point is that there is a difference between ideal and practical. An ideal company is something that is built for the customer, that is built for the society. And when it comes other way around, then we see that okay, it is not happening. So we can say that a company is not the problem, the corporates work, but and they're trying to work too. So we cannot just ignore the fact there. So that is what I wanted to say, right?
All
Please.
right, thank you, Shomrik. I know I called out Madhura for speaking next, but can we go to an against person? Can I ask Vijay to speak?
Just a second. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can go on.
So the point which Shomrik said, he said, I don't know exactly Shomrik said this or not. Amir Khan is doing that incredible India thing, right? But I think he's paid. He's not just doing it for the societal thing or something. And he's not into corporates at all. He's in film industry and they do it. Maybe they have very other reasons for it, but they do it for, popularity as well. We just can't take that as something. And you mentioned about Bill Gates, which I already talked about in the thing which I told, like he's one of an exception. And coming to Madhura's point, she said that CSR is, like demanding something, or CSR is the one which is formulating something to do the work. And I already told about this. This is not the way it is. Like one's will is more important than the CSR. The whole topic is about one can contribute or not. It's not about CSR at all. So I give other person a chance to speak now.
Yeah, thank you, Vijay. First of all, I know it's a rebuttal round and everybody needs to speak at the same time and counter each other's point. So we'll ask Madhura to go ahead and then we'll open it for all, but please don't make it an Arnab Goswami Sunday kind of debate. All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Karthik, for finally letting me unmute. So, the point I would like to make is we'll just start with a simple grammar. Can you please unmute me? If I'm going to ask this question, either your answer can be yes, I can, or no, I can't. And one more answer that you can say is yes, I can, but I don't want to. There is a difference, right, between can and I don't want to. So the topic here we have is, can one help or take part in the social building when he is employed in a corporate? So the question mainly goes like, it's a single entity. We are talking about a single person and his ability and want, and his ability, not want. That's the point I want to make here. His ability to contribute. Can he contribute by being in a corporate sector? Yes, he can. He obviously has the resources. Just that he doesn't want to. That's a totally different point, and I'm not going to argue for that because a lot of people were telling it's their own call. But one more thing I would like to add is, people were talking about CSR. I know even I mentioned something. Corporate is an entity. We all have attended our FADM classes and we know that it is an entity, it's a separate company and it does not represent any people. It's an own entity that can have its own liabilities and assets. When it has a definition like that, we can't really take a corporate as a whole and start telling that people who are employed in a corporate can't really help people. Yes, they can. Like, it starts from even the smallest of things. We are going to a market and we see people, farmers who are selling their products directly in that particular market, and we are going to bargain. You are earning, just imagine, you are earning 30K per month and you are going to spend an average of 1,500 a month in a vegetable market, and you still try to want to bargain for 2 rupees or 3 rupees. It's just your want. It doesn't have a situation like you are employed in a corporate, so you don't want to help or you don't want to contribute. Each and every point matters, and it doesn't mean that being employed in a corporate makes you unable to help the people or help be part of a society. The society is where you live in, corporate is where you work. These are two different entities, and we can't really say that people who are employed in corporates cannot help, because corporate is not liable for one's particular action. They can help, it's just that they don't want to. So it's never a question of can they or can they not. So I would like to conclude my point here, and maybe if something else comes up, I can talk.
All right. Thank you, Madhura. I know people are raising hands. We are opening it for all. Please don't again make it a fish market, and I thank you for that, but please don't.
I would like to say that
Okay,
academy
so
is
I
practical
have a
about all.
point to add. As Abhishek PK has already said that corporate works on greed, but if all the corporates are working on the motive, has a motive of greed, will this world survive and come to the place it is here? No, it won't. There will be colonization. There will be corporate colonization. So I like to refute that point that that most of the corporate works on greed, but no, there are few. Yes, there are few corporates which works on which have the greed motive, but there the number of the number of corporates which have the good intention is much more than those. So and other point, as a cop, as a CSR is mentioned that the people are doing for fame and all. But let's just focus on the what CSR does. Even if the people are doing that for fame, it is actually helping people, as we all heard from today's session from the lifestyle lady. She said that there are 500 special category people working under in her company. So and she also said that these people work with much more dedication and sincerity than those and than the regular people. So, and as these people are provided, with employment, they are these people are uplifted in the uplifted in social classes. So if a low class person who is in the special category is employed by a company under CSR program, and because of that program, if that person life or monetary situation are improve, I think the CSR has I think the CSR has achieved this motive.
Karan, it's
See,
all
we are
about
not
one's will.
about.
It's
Just
about
want
one's
to
will,
add.
not CSR, not CSR at all.
See, we are not talking about the corporate. We are actually talking about the employee who is actually working in the corporate. Okay, if he,
Individual is
yeah. So he's actually like we are actually talking about, do the employee should contribute towards the social work or social sector, or he should not. Like the for if we are talking about the corporate, they
Why
actually have.
only just 1 second, Akash, though you are on my team, I just want to say one thing. Why only individuals?
why
Why
only
See,
individuals
actually,
as in
the
this
question is
topic is
actually the
about
question is
Because the
actually saying
question
that one
is
can.
can one
contribute for the
contribute to social sector when employed in corporate? It's not can
So when
corporate
a person is running a
social.
business, so when a person is running a business and he is the corporate himself, isn't it?
he's employed.
No,
Yeah,
he
I'm
is not.
talking about
No,
He
no,
is
no.
not.
He is
He is
employed.
not.
he's the employer.
He's
He's the
an
Yeah,
employer.
he is being employed at the corporate. He can't be an employer directly.
So
Yeah.
Guys,
can I
I
say
totally
something?
So,
believe
see,
that
see,
Can I say
Shiv, I
something?
want
all
to complete something. I just want to
okay.
complete with something that we can actually, can we be practical about something? Like, we don't want to be hypocrite, like something like if we want to help someone, we can help someone. If we don't want to help someone, we will not do that because we're just not feeling in a right way. Okay, let's go with the same thing. Let's go in a constant thing that if you want to help someone, do it proper manner. But if you're not helping someone, just if you're actually helping someone just to be feel good about it, then it's a really wrong idea. Because this is the kind of thing just because this is the kind of thing because you are doing just to make yourself happy and you to show other to the social society. Okay, and it is not good to say that. If you are actually
I
doing
think that
good,
is a topic for
I
another
guess
debate. I think that is a topic for another
just
debate.
I think
Okay,
Shubham,
guys,
Abhishek has
I
something
just
to
guys,
tell.
Abhishek Singh
Abhishek,
has not spoken for a long time. Can we
Exactly.
give
Yeah,
him a chance, please? Yeah.
Thank you, Karthik. At least now I can speak. First of all, I think we are getting diverted from the topic because topic is can one contribute to the social sector while being
Yeah.
employed in corporate sector, not should a person do or not.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
Yeah.
and most like what I concluded it, people are talking about money and CSR. Topic isn't that. Okay, we can help in other ways as well. Educate these children.
Yeah.
That is the best way you can help other people. Like for that work, if you're working in corporate, fine, I understand. You need not to send money to the NGOs, and just go and give a book or a food to your neighbors, like everybody, like not everybody, but in every city we have plenty of beggars and people who lives on the roadside and footpath. So we can give and give a small amount of, I'm not saying give money to them, no, fine, but at least you can give food, and you can educate their children's, not take the responsibility of their whole education, but at least a little part, because little can make a big impact on that. So this was my only 2 points.
Abhishek,
Okay,
guys,
adding to
I want
Vijay,
to
Abhishek's
is
point,
like I
just
have just
have
one point. Madhura, just can I say one thing?
just one
Like,
thing. It's very Yashasvi.
I
I don't
want
know
to
who is
yes,
talking. Okay, you go,
yes.
then I'll add to the point and we'll
I really support what Abhishek said. I just wanted to say that this is not a new concept for India because we always used to help each other. And the one like the topic was, can one contribute? So it's totally about will, as Vijay said in his previous thing, that if a person is willingly to help person, no matter where, if he works in a corporate or he works in a government institute, if the willing factor is there, he will help. And like Abhishek already said, that money, you can help the society with a lot of different ways. You can support animals, you can do a lot of different things. Just throwing money is not the only answer.
Madhura,
You
just
can
one second.
And
just a
I
second.
want
the
to
No,
come.
no,
same
no. Like Madhura should continue. Madhura should continue.
same
Vijay,
point. I
I
want to
think
add something.
Madhura will
Let her
continue,
continue.
Madhura
Let her
talk.
then
continue.
Madhura
Vijay.
talk.
Just
Let
one
her
minute.
continue.
So there is a song, the from the movie Madrasa Pattinam we have in Tamil. and the song is something. It is along the lines a person who is working in the labor sector. He is washing clothes for the people from the other sectors, and he is explaining what is really happening in India. Just this is a pre-independence era. One point in that song, that particular song, is people in India, Tamil Nadu, they used to build their houses with something called as thin, I say exactly don't know, a kind of verandas in their house. Those verandas were especially built for people who used to pass through the town, so just so that they can rest and continue their travel. And similarly, the kind of the columns and all that we used to have in front of the houses, it was made with the rice flour. This rice flour made sure that small birds and ants, they can feed from that and start. They can also survive. So it always has been not the survival of fittest formula in India. It has always been let's help each other and grow together. And also there is this Chinese proverb that says that when you give a fish to a particular person in one particular time, you're just solving his hunger for that particular time only. But if you teach him how to fish, he is going to be able to have food throughout his life. So the help is just not providing an instantaneous offer, like providing some food for the people who are in need of it, or just giving away some money that you have in hand. It's just not about that. Contributing to the society is totally different. There are a lot of causes, and if you are willing, if you have the mind to it, you can definitely do. And a corporate, the wheel of a corporate is never going to stop you from contributing. And I think the topic, like again, as I told before, contribute attaching one particular person who is working in a corporate.
Madhura, we are losing you. Madhura, we are losing you.
She's fine for me. Madhura, go on, please.
Okay. So attaching one particular person to a corporate as a whole and saying that corporate does not allow that particular person is allowing to corporate is actually not a valid point.
So the thing is that we should not talk about a person here. He should or she should not contribute. It's upon his will. So
yes.
Yeah, the main thing is that it's upon his will, but don't do just to make yourself good about it. Okay. So this is the main point I just want to talk about.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
So I want to speak. I want to counter Madhura's point by saying I agree with whatever you said, except one thing where you again included corporate in that. I told you like this is passive thing which you're saying. I don't agree with the point where you can actively participate in the returns which you are doing for the society. That thing I don't agree with, but it's my opinion and I respect your opinion as well. And coming to Abhishek's point and Yashasvi's point, I want to tell Abhishek, you told me about in the college you have done something for the school which is nearby your area, right? Even we have a school. We went there. That's when we are studying, and we just didn't teach or we just didn't do anything. We even bought a synthetic, what do we call that, synthetic tank for the school where they really need washrooms and all. We took care of things. And there's one person who initiated everything, and the same person who went to the corporate world told he was not able to do all sort of things, because I'm not talking about one person in particular. Even I felt that, even I worked for industry, I wanted to go outside, but my 9 to 5 job was not allowing it at all. And in the college I did, whatever you said is 100% right. In the college you can do. And Yashasvi also agreed to that point that you can contribute in some way or the other. But definitely what you said is right. But I don't think it will be possible in the corporate world. You go to a school and
Vijay, I totally support your point.
This is the main thing.
Just wait. Vijay, I
Continue.
really support your point. I just want to say that, see, you just gave an example of particular one person. I can also give you example of those who are working in a cooperative world, but still able to, make things work and
I'm talking
contribute
about the
something
majority.
back to the
I'm talking about the
society.
majority, Yashasvi.
Yes, the
I think the
majority is there.
is
Obviously,
helping out.
see, again,
Majority is helping out. Minority is not.
No. That's not the
it
case.
depends.
I want
It
to
depends upon
check
how
this
we
data.
see it. It depends upon
Depends on
how
the
we see it.
perception.
Actually,
Yeah.
the thing is that a problem occurs suddenly. If one day actually helping and another day you're actually moving out from that situation, then it's not a good idea. In the
Okay, I would
corporate,
like to address the points here.
just
Like Vijay were
let me
perfectly right.
end.
Yeah, sure.
Just let me end. The thing is that in a corporate world, you are actually in a really hectic situation. One day you are actually feeling good about it, so that on that very day you are actually helping that person. You're actually going with the social sector. Okay, but on the very next day you are actually feeling very low about the situation because you are having a really hectic day. And that day, if a person comes to you, you're not able to help him. What should we talk about? Like, you should actually help him or not?
Akash,
Okay, I would like to
can this
address that point
situation
here, Madhura. Like
Just
I was
one
just
question
address
for
Buddha's
him.
point.
One
Yeah, sure,
question for him.
sure,
So,
sure, sure.
Akash, do you think this difference in opinions you have day to day, the mood swings you have, does it just pertain to corporate world, or can that happen to any particular work domain?
It can happen
I
to
would
any.
say I'm actually talking about the corporate
Okay,
world.
thank you, Madhura. That's a very
It's
good
not
question.
about corporate.
Yeah,
It
to
can happen
address
to anyone. It can happen to
yeah, to
politicians.
address
Okay,
It can
Buddha's
happen
Please
to
guys,
go
guys,
astronauts.
guys,
ahead.
guys. Shomrik, can you put your point forward? And I think then one or two more people, and then we'll end. Thanks.
Angela wants to speak. If she wants to speak, she can go after somebody.
Yeah.
Shomrik
She
first,
should.
and then
hello.
yeah,
Shomri.
Shomrik, go
Enjoying
on.
the, I am enjoying the
Okay,
show. Continue breaking
okay.
chairs.
Exactly. We are not. We
Yeah,
are taking
totally.
not
I
getting
can feel you.
debate.
I can feel you, Angela. Anyways, to address Vijay's point, I would like to say something first. Like, yes, exactly. You're totally right. It's not about our mood swings that can allow us to help them on a particular day and then have a drink on the other night, right? And not doing anything. But yeah, that's a thing. But the question was like, can a person in a corporate help work for social people? Like have a social work or a thing that can allow them to work for the people and work for the society. I would believe yes, because see, firstly, not every day in your week, every day in your week is something that you have to work. Like there is a day called the weekday, or called the weekend, and over that you actually have your enough ease to go out and work whatever you want to do whatever you want to do. If we feel that we want to do, we can do that. Let's keep the corporates aside. Yes, we have
But
the
the
offer, we
problem,
have
but the problem doesn't occur
yes.
with respect to your free
Just
time.
let me say
It
something, just
actually
let me say
happens
something.
suddenly.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, Vijay, you're right. Just let me say something. Like, just let me finish my point. Like, if you're not a part of the corporate, you have enough time to do that, to do whatever you want. Let's just say that you are coming from a rich background. Otherwise, you don't have the money and you're working for the other people when you don't have anything to eat. Okay, that's one thing. But let's just talk about the corporates now. If you're talking of the corporates, let's just say that I'm taking the time into consideration and other things. Okay, and the corporates give you exposure, give you the opportunity to help. If you use that, it's up to you. If you don't use that, that's also up to you. No one can tell anything to do that. Okay, so can you blame the corporates? I don't think so. And to answer the other point that was raised, that is the corporates do not give you enough time to work for it. Okay, so now if you do not have the money, you have the time, and a corporate job, you have the time to work for them. But maybe you cannot because you have to fill your belly and you have to have something to have. I'm not just talking that okay, corporate like social work pays. I'm not saying social work doesn't pay, but then are we doing for the pay? Are we doing for the pay? Are we doing the social work only for that? So then that's another consideration. Okay, let's not take that. So going to the corporates, yes, they pay and we do not have time. But let's say, is time the only thing? Like just as the question was raised, is money the only thing that can help a social work? So let's just say that is time the only thing that help you work socially? That's the only question that I'd like to pose, and this is where I would like to end. Like I'm open for all suggestions, please. Thank
Amrik,
you.
I want to answer your question. You said this is
Yeah,
not about you or me or anybody in person. This is about
yeah,
the person who is truly willing to contribute to society.
yes,
I'm talking about
yes,
those set of people who can be an
yeah, yeah,
example to the overall
yeah,
society in general.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
people cannot do it. And I saw many people who quit the job, and some people are saying yes, they have friends who do.
Okay, so is time the only resource that can help you work socially or do social work? Is time the only resource? That's my question,
One of the
right?
biggest
Just an open question. What exactly are we meaning by social work? That
Exactly.
is unclarified. In this entire
Anything,
discussion, no,
any,
let me finish. Let me finish. Let me
Yeah.
finish.
Please.
In this entire discussion, that was like social work, we all are interpreting it in our own free will
anything
to the
which
best of our
helps to
abilities.
for betterment of the society.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
Who
I
is
would like to
society?
agree to just
Who
beyond
is
that.
the
who
society?
society? We are
The
the
society
society,
Who?
our
is everything
surroundings.
around you,
If you
including
do
you.
We are the
something for
One
animals,
second.
that is again the
Am I not
society.
the society? Am I
Yeah.
not a part of the society? If I'm
Yes,
doing
you are.
something for my
I'm not
betterment,
obviously
saying,
and
you
if
I
are.
I
didn't
am
said that
conserving
you are
for
not.
myself, am I not a part of the society? Am I not,
Yes, you
not
are.
doing it for the good?
Who said you are not? Who talked about you? You
Wait, wait.
are or
Then,
you are not.
It's
I'm talking about my
bro.
society, the
It's a
where
debate.
I'm
so
living.
I am not a part of your society.
See,
I'm
see,
not
It's
a
a
part
not
of your
about
debate,
my
guys.
society.
society.
It's
I
a
want to
debate.
go.
Why
Arey,
are we going with
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
me,
Where
you,
are we
he,
going
Buddha's,
with?
she?
Buddha's point only.
That is
where are
what
we going with this
that is
podcast?
what
See,
I was trying to specify. Like giving back to the society, where I was actually trying to reach is I got cut in between before that. Like I might deviate a little just to summarize all the points and whatever I have collected to the best of my capabilities. So social work is not always necessary that we have to do things for others.
Yeah.
We can also do things for ourselves, and not necessarily we have to always do things physically. We can do things emotionally. We can provide support.
Of course.
We can provide the basic mental health. We can take care of our employees mentally. They are suffering one shit of stress. We can reduce that. We can talk about corporate mental health, which is also part of donating to the society.
Definitely.
This
So
is
to
again
that, like
This is
Completely
Goindila,
agree with you.
Let me see
We're
another
talking
slide,
very
right?
general
So
way.
I just wanted to say one thing. Like we were just looking at social work in a different way, like helping people. So tell me one thing: does the corporates not provide employment? So isn't that something to think about? I just thought of it right now because the corporates provide employment, right?
Okay, just one official discussion is the debate is over. Okay, we are just open to discussion. Whatever points we
So
have, we
guys,
have
you
already
know
filed.
what?
Stop the
Anybody
recording.
can
I
say.
One
would say,
second.
No,
I
no,
would
it's not
say,
over.
Guys,
I would say,
you know what? 1 second. We can go ahead in this debate for on and on. There'll be multiple points that will be said by many people, and we can just counter and counter and counter for all night if we want to. So I guess we should end the debate over here. For our first debate, what I feel is it was a very good debate. We didn't make it a fish market or anything, but is there scope for improvement? There definitely is. uh, so for the first debate, first of all, I would like to thank you for joining. uh, I know I have taken up too much of your time with this debate, but once again, thank you for joining. And please stay back just for 5 or 10 minutes after the recording ends for the feedback session and whatnot. All right. Thank you, everyone.